I wanted to be one of the best. And the only way to accomplish that was to get better every single year. Like I said, whether it was physically, mentally, whether it's being a better teammate, a better, helping guys out on the field, whatever I could do, I wanted to be better every single year at doing what I did.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. We have Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher with us today. I mean, started out Rookie of the Year, 8-time Pro Bowler, should have been 9 for the record. One of the most decorated defensive players ever to play the game. And I'm super happy to have him with us. There's a lot we can learn. He's definitely feared by many, but certainly respected by all. Brian, what's up, buddy?
Nothing, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Why should I have made 9 Pro Bowls? What happened? 8 were good. I was happy with that.
It was great. I just remember that season. It feels like the 9th one was inching.
Yeah, it's the ones that matter are the All Pros anyway. So the Pro Bowls are voted on by the fans and the other players. And if players don't like you, they're not going to vote for you. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah, when you're better than everybody, that tends to piss people off a little bit. I found in my experience.
It does make some people mad. There is some jealousy factor involved. I do believe that for sure.
What is that, kind of having that type of success when you look back on it? What I talk about a lot or what I think about is people have the success, they show it, people read about it, but they don't hear all the bullshit that happened to get you there, or the things that didn't work out, or maybe the sack that you missed that maybe no one's counting, but you remember. Talk to me a little bit about the things that didn't work before things started working for you.
So you said it best. I always, no matter how well I played or how well I didn't play, I always think about the plays I didn't make. Those are the ones that kept me awake at night. We may win 28-0, but I'm always thinking about the tackle that I missed, the gap I may have ran through that was the wrong gap. Just there's the little shit that used to drive me crazy because I wanted to be perfect. And it's impossible to be perfect as a football player because the other team gets paid too, so they're pretty damn good as well. But I always would just get mad at the small mistakes if there were some. I think that's the only way you can get better is to nitpick at yourself, especially at that level. It's so hard to I was very fortunate to have some good coaches around me, and he was not scared to tell me what I was doing wrong. So it made it easy for me to kind of pick at myself and try and get better. But that's the stuff that kept me awake at night, though, after games was the stuff that I screwed up or that I think the plays I think I should have made that I didn't make.
So is there a play or is there something in your career that a play or a sack or something that you missed that turned into something that really fucking sucked that you still hate?
Yeah, so Super Bowl, actually, 2006, we played the Colts down in Miami, and God, man, one of our D linemen, I think Mark Anderson, caused a fumble, and all our coaches ever preach to us is pick the ball up and run. That's it. That's all they ever tell us to do. Pick it up and run. Doesn't matter if you get tackled, whatever. So my dumb ass, the ball is out and it's right in front of me. I try and dive on it. And there's literally nothing in front of me but green grass to score a touchdown. So I try and dive on it. I knock it back towards our end zone. We end up recovering the football, and we don't score. Our offense doesn't score on that drive. But if I pick it up, if I'm able to pick it up and run with it, I probably score. So that's the one. And we obviously lost the game 29-17. But that's one of the plays I think about. Even the first play of that game, Peyton threw a pass, and I went up. And it would have been a great catch, but I just tipped it. It was incomplete, but then they ended up getting a first down in that drive anyway. Just the small stuff, but the fumble to me was a huge play because I should have scored.
So I mean, that obviously sucks. And trust me, I share more of those than I care to admit, quite frankly. So that was 06. You're in the league. You're in the league 13 years, right? Yeah. 12 or 13 years?
Yes, 13 years.
So this is middle of your career. So this is middle of your career, effectively, right?
Yes. Yep.
So did that teach you anything? Like, did you learn something from that fuck up to where in the next 6 or 7 years that you weren't going to dive on a ball anymore? Like, meaning is there something that was learned from that? I have a kind of a point that I'm trying to get to here if I can.
Yeah. I learned from it. I think those opportunities are so hard to get to. It's so hard to find a ball in the NFL that guys don't fumble. So it's hard to get to that opportunity where the ball is right fucking in front of you and all you have to do is pick it up and run. And my dumbass tried to dive on it, which we got the ball anyway. But for a team who didn't score a lot of points, touchdowns are a big deal. So even if I get tackled in field goal range, we kick a field goal. So I think you got to take advantage of every opportunity you get. You got to try and put the ball in the end zone no matter what. And that's what we were coached to do. That's what makes me so mad. Is we were coached to pick the ball up and run, and I blew that opportunity right there.
No, that it's, I mean, you're talking about it, what, some 16 years later. So
Yeah.
clearly it was still pretty impactful. And I mean, I do the exact same thing. Do you think that messing up, like you need to screw up or have some kind of failure in order to be successful? Or do you think they're not, like they have nothing to do with it?
From my experience, for sure you do. I think that's at that level, it's hard to get better because you're not going to be successful all the time. I think in football or in sports, you're going to fail. That's all there is to it. You're not going to be the best on every player, the best in every game. There's always going to be someone bigger and badder come along to kind of knock you off, or in that game put you in your place. So business wise, I'm not sure. I've done some good things. I've done some shitty things. I think more shitty than good because I'm not I'm not a super business guy. But I think it does help. I mean, it's frustrating when you fail, but you kind of have to go through those to get back up on there and make yourself better and learning from those mistakes.
Do you think everybody, that's obviously a pretty uncomfortable thing to look
Yeah.
at your own failures. Like, do you find that you put more pressure on yourself than anything? Like, because I assume to be at that level of elite performance, it's all you at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, in the end, it is you. I just I wanted to get better every single year, whether it was mentally, physically. I wanted to get better every year. I think, and if you don't strive to do that, you're not going to get better. You're going to maintain. You're just going to be kind of in the middle guy. I didn't want to be in the middle guy. I wanted to be one of the best, and the only way to accomplish that was to get better every single year. Like I said, whether it was physically, mentally, whether it's being a better teammate, a better helping guys out on the field, whatever I could do, I wanted to be better every single year at doing what I did.
Did you always want to be a football player? Was there other sports that you played, like in, I mean, maybe like middle school, high school, you played everything, but like, was there ever, I don't know, did you ever want to be a baseball player or like have any other, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud.
I loved basketball. So I grew up, yeah, man, I grew up, I thought I was better at basketball than I was at football. I wasn't, obviously. Yeah, but I excelled at football. I was a good basketball player in high school, and I probably could have played in college if I would have pursued it, but not to the level at which I played football. So I definitely made the right decision playing football, but I loved basketball. It was so fun. You just think about it, you go play with your friends on the weekend. We literally played basketball when I was a kid all summer, every weekend. But we weren't doing like sports when we weren't busy with football or baseball, or whatever, or track. We were playing basketball. We had these logos around town, like 8-foot rims, and we'd go play these logos where we could dunk. In 7th, 8th grade, dunking's a big deal. So when you're dunking on an 8-foot rim, feel pretty damn good. So I loved hoops. It was fun for me. I stink now, but it was fun back in the day.
So is that like when you came into your profession, so you talk about that, that love of basketball, obviously, and being easy to kind of play. Did that transition for you becoming like a pro football player? Because obviously you loved football at one point or whatever. Did it become a job for you? And like, was it, because obviously it's work. It's fucking high paid job. I mean, it's work. So
yeah,
how do you differentiate that between I love my job or I love this versus it's work?
So I loved going to work every day. I'll tell you that much already. Football was the greatest job of all time. I mean, I love football. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved basketball. But the more I play football and the better I got, the more I love football. And that was my ticket right there. But I loved going to work every day. I loved being in the locker room, fucking around with the guys at practice and the meetings. You're at work every day, work with 55 of your buddies. And then you have the trainers, the equipment guys, the guys who take care of the field, the lunch people. It's just people you see every single day. And you have relationships with everyone. It's awesome. I used to love it, man. I get the facility at 6:15 every day, weight room before everyone got. I loved it, man. I love being at the facility. It was a blast for me.
What about table tennis? You still play?
Pong?
You still play ping pong?
Man. I'm looking at my table right now as you bring that up. It's funny. I play with my kids. My 2 youngest kids are pretty damn good at ping pong. So we'll get some doubles games going in our game room here. My wife played. She was my partner the other night. She's not as let me see she doesn't play as much as the rest of us. How about that? So she's a little bit lower level.
Happy wife, happy life.
She's getting better. I'll tell you what, I was pretty impressed with her the other night when we played. But my kids are badasses, man. They I watch their games and I get a headache watching the ball go back and forth so fast. But I love it. It's a great game. It's so fun, and it's a good thing. Like our family gets together, we play ping pong. It's a blast.
Do you want your son to keep playing football?
Yeah, football. I mean, I love football, man. I love what it gave to me. I love what it taught me. He's a sophomore now. I do believe he can play in college, and if he gets his college paid for, even better. If he can go to college and get a scholarship and get free school, I'm all on board for that. But if he doesn't, either way, as long as he goes to school, I'm happy with that. But he enjoys it. He busts his ass. That's all I care about is don't do something that you don't love. And he loves it. He gets out there. I don't have to tell him to work out. I don't tell him to show up. He does it on his own. I like that.
No, that's a huge deal. So you said something earlier that you always go for perfection, but like perfection is like impossible in football. And I think it's impossible in life. I think perfection is for like, is not for humans. Like we're made like inevitably flawed. So I kind of say, okay, instead of perfection, go for excellence, or is it better to go for perfection, fall a little bit short? Like what do you think? Like
I think there's a level I feel like people know what level we can get to. And if you get to the level where you're happy, who cares? If you get to the level of football player you want to be or level of business you're happy at, what's it matter? As long as you're happy and your family's happy, I don't think it matters. I try to block out all the outside voices, people talking shit or people kind of, with social media these days, I didn't realize how big of a deal social media was till about 2 years ago. And thank God it wasn't around when I played because I would have been these guys read these comments. You just can't read the comments people say because it doesn't matter. They're probably trying to piss you off in the first place. And as long as you're happy, like I said, with how you're performing, and I was never happy with the way I performed, so I'd probably be a moody ass anyway. But you just got to get better and try and block a lot of that shit out.
It's like just trolls, man. Like get a job. Like go do something
what the
else.
Fuck? I'm with you. What do you sit there and just wait for something to pop up on your feed? Like, oh, I'm gonna talk shit to this guy. Oh, look at that one. I'm gonna blast him. It's just who has time for that, man? But it is fun. I will say this: it is sometimes fun to get into it. People who DM you or talk shit on your photos. I enjoy that quite a bit. So if I'm bored,
they wouldn't say that to your face. That's for sure.
That's exactly what I say. I'm like, it's pretty easy to sit there behind that keyboard and then yap to me. Oh, I'll meet you wherever you want to. Get the tough guys and then they disappear.
I saw one of these guys talking, and I definitely don't condone violence of any sort, but he made a funny comment. He said, people that do that and talk shit or trolling on whatever Instagram or social media are people that haven't got punched in the face enough. Because if you say that in someone's face, like a Brian Urlacher, you're going to regret it.
Well, it's just they hide behind their keyboards. It's really easy to be a tough guy when you got that keyboard protecting you, and the person will never see it. It's fun though. I enjoy it sometimes. It's nice. It's a good way to pass time when I'm on the Peloton. I'll tell you that much. It's a nice way to sit there and waste 30 minutes arguing with somebody.
Are you still training? Kind of post football? Are you still? You're on the Peloton. You're shaking your head.
Well, I do the Peloton on my days off from bike. So I like to ride outside in the mountains on the road. We have these canals around here in my house. I ride my bike on the canals. But I do exercise, but I haven't touched the weight in over 2 years. I started doing push-up. All I do is push-ups and sit-ups. I don't have a game coming up.
Herschel Walker. That's that Herschel Walker exercise.
Have you seen Herschel? Oh shit! If I can look like that, I think Herschel's 55 or 56.
He looks incredible,
amazing. Yeah, look, I saw him at when was it? 2 years ago? I saw him at an event. He's unbelievable. He's the nicest guy ever. But so now I don't do as many push-ups as he does, but I do push-ups and sit-ups after my bike rides.
What does he do? Like I've read different things, like 205, like crazy.
I heard he does a couple thousand push-ups, and who knows how many. How do you have time?
I read that too. Is that true?
I do 150, and I'm like, damn, my triceps are blown up, my wrist hurts. And it takes me. I try and do sets of 50, so I'll do 3 or 4 sets of 50, and then I'll do abs in between. So it must take him like 2 hours to do that every day. But I guess if he doesn't ride his bike, so I ride my bike for a couple hours, I'm going to substitute that time in for the lack of push-ups that I do. Better.
Yeah, but you're also getting your cardiovascular health and getting all that stuff together. Yeah. So clearly, is nutrition and fitness a big thing in your family, like in your home? Like, are people conscious of that health and exercising and eating? Like, is that something y'all talk about?
One of us in my family is. This person you're talking to is not conscious of nutrition. I like food, man. That's why I ride my bike so far and do what I do, because I love food. So I am trying to be more conscientious with what I eat, and the older I get, I got to be careful. But my wife is really good at it. She knows, like, she's gluten-free because she has an allergy. But she cooks gluten-free food. It actually tastes pretty good, surprisingly.
Great.
Yeah, I wouldn't go great, but it's good enough to. I wouldn't go to a restaurant and order it, but it's not bad. But she knows her shit when it comes to that. My son, I tell him to eat as much as you can. Bro, you're 16 years old. You're 185 pounds. Eat everything. You're going to burn the calories, so eat everything you can, and he does. And my daughters, they're kind of like birds. So they eat when they're hungry. My middle daughter kind of picks, and she's kind of picky with her food. But as long as they're not getting too skinny, I'm okay.
There you go. Like, so in this part, what does success look like, for Brian Urlacher at this point in your life? Like, what would be successful for you? Obviously, you've had this crazy career, but what's the next 30 years? Like, what does success mean?
So that's a good question. I don't know. I really enjoyed being a father. When I played, I was a father as well, but I couldn't be there all the time like I want to be now. I'm around all the time. It's awesome. It's fun watching my kids grow up and kind of. So I have my oldest daughter is 21. She's a junior at Kansas, KU. They just won the national championship. So she's having a good time right now. My middle daughter is a junior in high school. My son's a sophomore in high school. So I got a couple years left to get them out of the house, I'll say. But I'm really enjoying just kind of hanging back and doing. I play a lot of golf. I fish a lot. My wife and I travel quite a bit, and we hang out with the kids. But I don't know, man. Business. I am involved in a couple of businesses. It's always nice when they do well because, like I said, I've had so much shit go wrong in that aspect with the stuff I've done. But I don't see myself ever getting very involved in that because I don't care. Honestly, I don't care enough, and I don't feel like I'm not gonna say I'm not smart enough. I just don't want to put the time in to do it. I'm selfish when it comes to my time. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I'm selfish.
So that's so selfishness is something I think about too with failure is so selfish. Is it selfish that you take care of you, that you can take care of other people? Like meaning, so all the people you take care of, being a father, and I think about that. So like selfish, has that negative connotation, like, oh, he's selfish, or he's a dick, or whatever that thing is. Yeah. But if you're selfish for you to be better and stronger, and then you provide, does that make you the same selfish? Like, what is that? What's the difference between that?
Yeah, I think there's a good selfish and a bad selfish. So I'm selfish with my free time. How about that? So when I have free time, when I'm not doing something with my family, I want to do what I want to do, or what my wife thinks I should be doing. So I'm selfish when it comes to playing golf and fishing. I work, I retired for a reason because I wanted to do some things outside of football and I've been able to do that. And so I told myself when I retired, if I got bored doing what I was doing, I would have to figure something out. Like whether it's be a coach, which I would never want to do, or figure something out to take up my time. And I haven't got bored yet. I still enjoy playing golf. I still like fishing and riding my bike. So I'm going to keep doing that until I get bored.
That's so what would be failure right now? What would something be like? What would you think? Oh, this is not, what would be failure to Brian today? Like at this point in your life?
That's a good question, man. So, I'm always scared of getting hurt. So in my mind,
rightly so.
So I'm a very routine guy. Like I'll get up at 6:30, I'll eat my breakfast, I'll go get on my bike for 2.5, 3 hours, come home, shower, go play golf. My routines, and I'll play golf every day, but do something throughout the day. If I was to get hurt and not be able to fulfill that routine, that'd be a failure. I broke my wrist a couple of years ago riding my bike in Hawaii. I hit a freaking curb and flew a little bit. But I still rode my bike. I put the cast on. I rode it I was able to find a way to ride. Not in the mountains, but I could ride on the road still. I'm so nervous about getting fat, Ari. I don't want to gain weight, bro. I'm so nervous about, because I know I'm not going to get on the treadmill. Sucks. It's so boring. The elliptical doesn't do anything for me. So I'm so nervous that if I can't work out or ride my bike, I'm going to be fat and I don't want to get fat.
No, I mean, especially you're going to have to be more gluten-free like your wife to,
No, I'm not going to be gluten-free. I'm going to eat more fruit or more something. I'm not going to be a gluten-free guy unless I have to. Well, by the way, when did gluten really become a thing? Like 10 years ago? That's when everyone started getting gluten allergies? It didn't exist back in the 70s, 80s, 90s?
That's what.
When I was a kid, that didn't happen. I don't understand. It just
bread
popped
didn't
up.
exist back then.
No, it just popped up over the last couple of years. Weird. Now everyone's got it.
So gluten basically didn't exist 20 years ago, right?
No, just now. It's a reason for people to go and order and take an hour to order their food at a restaurant is what it is.
Or somebody's making money. Somebody's making money.
Obviously, it wouldn't make sense if someone wasn't making money over it.
Yep. Don't make dollars. Don't make sense.
But I will say this. My wife, I believe she really has a gluten allergy because she gets
no. I mean, all kidding aside,
I get it. I get it. But where was it 20 years ago? That's all I'm saying.
It's funny.
People just dealt with the stomach.
So some of my dearest friends are, pretty incredible doctors and nutritionists. And apparently what they tell me is the way that wheat was grown before and the type of wheat and the seed is different than today. Apparently that's for real. Like, so there's something called dwarf wheat. It's something called dwarf wheat that we eat now that's like mass produced, has to do with the seed, how it's raised, so apparently the way that it's, wheat is manufactured today is not what you ate 20 years ago, literally. Gotcha. So when you say it didn't exist 20 years ago, it actually didn't.
All right, good. So I can buy that. I believe that.
Yeah. And so that's, I can buy that too, because you're like, okay, if this is something totally different, that makes sense. But now everybody has an allergy, for everything. Brian, I know that, you have to get back to your family and have a bunch of stuff to do. And
I got my roosters out there making a ton of noise outside.
I have two questions for you. One is about that routine, because I love this concept of routine. So, and people talk about, and I've talked about it before, about routine and like a ritual. So ritual meaning it's also a routine, but it's something that's really special or sacred or something that it's important. So is your routine something that it's almost like, I don't want to say completely spiritual and be all whatever, but is it something for you that it's like, it's very meaningful? Like it's not just, I just go do this, but it's like something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly. It is meaningful to me because I've been a routine guy my whole life. I'm up at this, like when I played football, I had my routine during the season. I had my routine during the off season. I had my routine, for 15, through college to the NFL, that was my routine. I struggled when I retired. I kind of struggled because my routine was over. I had to find a new routine or a new way to kind of train myself to use my time because I had so much free time, man. I had to find something to do. But I will say this, the routine I have now, like riding my bike, I put my headphones on and there's no one talking to me. There's no one freaking blah, 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 no phone, nothing. And I just pedal. It's literally the best 2.5, 3 hours. I'm not going to say but it's my alone time. It's my Zen time to kind of get by myself and just pedal. I'm burning calories. I'm enjoying it. It sucks at the same time, but I actually enjoy that time where I'm by myself, just listening to my music, pedaling. It's enjoyable for me.
Yeah, you said it's your Zen time. So there is something more than just a route, I just do this, just monotonous every day. There's something that you really look forward to that has like an emotional connection too.
You're exactly. That's when I do if I am going to think, that's when I do my thinking or, shit that happened the day before, what I need to do, just get my thoughts in order and just pedal. That's on my bike. It says pedal, damn it. Yeah. It says pedal, damn it on my crossbar there. So I just look down and pedal and hopefully don't get ran over.
That's so awesome, man. My last question for you, I ask everybody that comes on the show, kind of wrapping things up is, after this success you've had, all these different things you've done in your life, is there one thing, or if there was one thing that you wish that everybody in the world knew, what would that be?
Shit, man. That's
whatever
a good question. Yeah.
There's one thing that you wish everybody in the world knew that you've learned in your life or experience that if they knew it, the world would be better, things would be better. What would that one thing be?
I think this is an obvious answer. I just think nothing's going to be given to you, unless you work for things or I don't know if you watch this Tiger Woods Hall of Fame induction speech. Did you watch that?
I saw clips of it. I need to go watch the whole thing.
He said something on there and I recorded it. Me too. But the things he does, say what you want to away from the golf course. That dude busts his ass to get on there. He doesn't need the money. Doesn't need it. He's played plenty of money. He does it because number one, he's a bad motherfucker. He loves golf. He wants to compete. He's a competitor. If he doesn't think he's going to win, he's not going to play. But he said something in his Hall of Fame speech, and I rewinded it and recorded it. Something about like if you didn't. God, I have it on my phone here, but something along the lines of you didn't earn it, if you didn't put the work in, if you didn't do all the right things to get yourself ready to win, then you don't deserve to win. Damn. It was just, and it wasn't like that. He said it a lot more eloquently, but it just, nothing's going to be given to you. There's some people are born to the right families. I get that. And they may have a little easier road to success than some people, but you got to bust your ass to get things. If you want something done in this world, do it. You're going to have to put the work in, and no matter what it may be, whether it's business, sports, whatever you do, you're going to have to put the work in. And that's all there is to it.
I love it, man. There's no truer words have ever been spoken, quite frankly.
You got to watch the Tiger Woods thing, Ari. You'll know what I'm talking about when he says it. Because
I'm going to hit you. I'm going to go watch it tonight.
I got chills when he said it. I was like, holy shit, that is the freaking best thing you've. I literally recorded it, sent it to my son, and said, watch this. You need to pay attention to this because this is the truth.
On that golf course with that club, he is a bad motherfucker.
You know what's great about him now is he's kind of embracing. He's older, but I see him giving dabs to the fans now. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he's finally, because when back in the day, man, that wouldn't happen. He was honed in, and he still might be honed in, but it's nice to see him be a little more human and kind of give daps to the fans and recognize that people are out there to see him. Those people that go, I mean, they love everybody else too, but they're there to see him. He's a badass.
Absolutely. Brian, thanks so much, man. And look forward to catching up with you soon, dude. I'll hit you
Thanks,
up later after I watch that speech.
Yeah, you got my number. Thanks, brother.
Take it easy, brother. You got it.